Welcome to Veterans Unbound. I am Daniel C. On today's show, we're going to talk about retiring overseas. Many veterans dream about traveling overseas to retire, but don't have a clue where to begin. In today's show, we'll give you some of the basics on how you can retire overseas. So please subscribe, like, and share. I've been to the Philippines several times. So from here on out, I will use the islands as an example. I just came back to the States from the Philippines in February of 2020. So the topics are pretty current. While I was in the Philippines, I spoke with several veterans who had already retired overseas. Some were married to local Filipinas, and others, like me, were solo travelers. All told me that living abroad in a tropical paradise was like nothing they'd ever experienced. The Philippines has over 7,000 islands you can travel to. For almost nothing, you can learn how to snorkel or scuba dive. You can travel to the island of Bohol and climb the Chocolate Hills. You can jump from a waterfall or swim in some of the cleanest, clearest oceans on the planet. If that's not your thing, you can lie in a hammock in the shade of a palm tree, drinking coconut water straight out of the coconut. In our last show, we talked about travel and retirement visas so that you can stay for more than 30 days. Please check it out. Retiring overseas can be overwhelming and can stop people right in their tracks. But if you plan ahead and don't leap before you look, you can do it right. Remember, prior proper planning prevents piss-poor performance. So, you've retired from the military or some other job. What now? Let's say you have made a few trips to the country you want to retire in. You've decided what city you want to begin your adventure in. And now you're ready to pull the trigger. But wait, there's more. You have a home, a house full of crap. What are you going to do with it? Do you rent it out and put all your stuff in storage? That in itself can be a headache all its own. That involves somebody else looking out for your home, like a property management company or a family member. Or do you sell everything, pocket the equity, and live off your pension? This is something you're going to have to think hard about. Only you can decide what you want to do. Bringing all of your household goods to a foreign country is probably not the brightest idea. A lot of countries, especially the Philippines, will tax the crap out of you for importing your stuff. It's much cheaper just to buy new stuff when you get there. In the Philippines, if you get married to a local national or you get a special retirement visa once you're there, then the government will allow you a one-time import tax waiver of $7,000. So think about it. My game plan is to sell everything except very personal items like my military stuff, and then I'm going to jump ship. Here's the deal. Once you get there, you may decide to move to another city, or you might meet someone and want to move. I don't want to haul all of that crap around. So, hypothetically, you have your pension, a pocket full of money from the sale of all your crap. Now you're free to begin the next big adventure in your life. Wait a minute. What about banking or your mail? That, my friends, is a simple fix. A remittance company like Zoom will allow you to transfer money almost immediately from your bank in the States to a bank in your new country or a pickup location like Western Union. Go to YouTube and check out Xoom. It's spelled Xoom. It's a PayPal company, and I've been using PayPal probably just like you forever, so I trust them. It's a safe, reliable way to transfer up to $50,000 a day from the States to wherever the heck you ended up. If you don't want to do that, your bank debit card will work at any ATM in the Philippines and in any, pretty much any country. In the Philippines, most ATMs will only let you withdraw about $200 every time you take out money. That's about 10,000 pesos. That's a fair amount of money. As far as your mail goes, that's a piece of cake too. Go online and find a virtual mailbox service. What these people do is give you a new street address, not a P.O. box address. Then you forward your mail to this new address before you move, and they will open, scan, and let you know through email what type of mail you have. You can look at your mail every day just like you did at home. After you've read it, you can let them know what you want them to do with it. Shred it or mail it to you in your new country. Let's say your new debit card came in the mail or something just as important that you needed. Well, they'll mail it to you. Again, this is safe and dependable service that veterans overseas have been using since Jesus was in boot camp. Let's talk about taxes. If you're 100% disabled, you don't pay taxes anyway in the States. But in your new country, unless you get a job, more than likely you won't be taxed on anything. Because I'm familiar with the Philippines, let's talk a little about cost of living. And I've got this whiteboard here set up as an example. These are more of the low ends, but these are your cost of living. So for rent, you can get a fairly decent place. It's more likely going to be a studio apartment for $300, and you can get a nice, 1 or 2 bedroom condo closer to the downtown area of pretty much any city in the Philippines for about $700. You can go up in price if you choose to, make your life a little more comfortable. On average, utilities are going to run you about $110, but if you're like me and like to run your air con or air conditioning more often, it could go up to $200 a month in a high-end condo. Your internet is going to run you about $30. Better quality internet in the city might run you $60. Your groceries. Now, this is not eating out except for a couple of times a month. For the most part, this is going to the grocery store like you do here in the States and buying your groceries. 3 meals a day for 30 days run you about $250. Transportation. You can take a jeepney or a Grab or a taxi. It's like Uber for about $30 a month. If you want to join a gym like I need to, a lower end gym will run you about $30. A higher end gym like a CrossFit gym or a 24-hour fitness type place run you about $60. Eating out. That's not, if you don't like to cook and you want to eat out every meal 3 times a day for a month. These are in the local restaurants, about $250. So you see, it's pretty comparable. So at a high-end rent of $700, and then these average costs, it's going to run you about $1,200. But that's kind of just getting by. So if, let's say you're 100% permanent total like me, if you up your budget a little bit to $2,000 to $3,000 a month, you're going to live like a king or a queen in the Philippines and a lot of Southeast Asia, period. If you drink, I don't, but if you drink, a beer will cost you about $1. That's crazy. Don't kill yourself. If you go to an international resto or restaurant with 1 glass of wine, and you can get a good Italian or a French or a Greek restaurant, one that's, high class, you're going to pay about $19 for one person. Let's say you want to get your teeth cleaned in the Philippines. It's going to cost you about $15 to $19. And then if you're just need to get your annual checkup, if you're not registered with the VA hospital in Manila, or let's say you live in another country, about $15 to $20 for a doctor's visit. And if you're like me, I got to have my cable TV. It's going to run you about $20 to $30 a month. So, like I said, these are just basic general cost of living. You're going to have your entertainment and other things that's up to you. But this is just a general basic cost of living for 1 month in the Philippines. Now, Something you'll have to take into consideration is the cost of your visas so you can stay in your country. In the Philippines, these are totals. For 1 year stay, which will take you, a couple to 3 or 4 times to renew, it's about $250 in fees. And for a full 3-year stay in the Philippines, expect to pay about $450. What about healthcare? Well, in the Philippines, the VA has what's called and this is for any country. If you're a veteran traveling abroad, the Foreign Medical Program, or the FMP, is for veterans with service-connected disabilities. While traveling around the world or retiring in a foreign country, you can be reimbursed for the cost of your doctor visit and medications. The Philippines is the only foreign country in the world that has a VA hospital. It's in the U.S. Embassy compound in Manila. I believe it's Rojas Street. Once you let them know that you're there to stay, you can get a doctor, have your meds mailed to you in country, and get all your annual checkups so you stay in compliance with Comp and Pen. As you can see, in a country like the Philippines, you can live life where you just get by, or you can spend a few extra bucks each month and live like a king or a queen. We have earned the right to live a life where every day is a surprise or a new adventure. We've earned the right to be happy. When we made it home alive, we were given a second chance. So what are you waiting for? Thanks for joining us at Veterans Unbound. Again, I'm Daniel C., your host. If this show helped you, or you want to see more about traveling or retiring overseas, or you just want to be a veteran unbound from his or her past, please subscribe, like, and share so we can continue to bring you exciting topics about veteran-specific issues. God bless.